Oh, yeah. We got a lot to talk about on the Philly Will Spill today. A lot. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody across the globe, how you doing? What up, what up, what up is how I usually start it. It's the Philly Will Spill, episode 23, January the 21st. I want to say happy Martin Luther King birthday to everybody from yesterday, inauguration and everything like that. But we got to get into it. It was a great week, might I add, to the NFL Divisional round. The NFL Divisional round was great, was off the charts, was everything that we hoped it to be, and more. So, without further ado, please like and subscribe to my channel. My name is Philly Will Spill. I come to give you the real spill, not the gimmick stuff that you see on TV and radio. We're going to talk today about the NFL Divisional round, how everything panned out. We're going to talk about mobile quarterbacks are the new quarterbacks of this era. Donald Trump back in office, and that's what we'll cover. And then tomorrow I'll cover predictions for the championship. So first and foremost, let me start off by doing this. Let me start off real quick. Got to. We got to. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Like I always tell everybody, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So I ain't gonna do this one. We say that for shots after the game. I'm gonna do this one. Just a little regular degular. Pop a little Red Bull. And we about to get right into it. Gonna dig right into it. So, let me taste that real quick. Let me taste that. Let's taste that. Woo! All right, let's get into it. NFL Divisional Round recap. First game was the Texans versus the Chiefs. That was a good game. Chiefs beat the Texans 23-14. Patrick Mahomes was 16-25, 177 passing yards, 1 passing TD. Kareem Hunt had 44 rushing yards for 8 carries, 1 TD. The rest of the team didn't really rush for nothing, but Check only rushed for 18. Receiving, Travis Kelce was 7 for 117 yards, 16.7. He averaged a catch for 1 TD. Travis showed out. He said, hey, y'all been talking that regular season crap. I don't care about the regular season. I care enough to win the games, get to the playoffs, but I go crazy in the playoffs. And he went crazy. And he got me some money. Thank you, Travis Kelce. Xavier Worthy, 5 for 45. He did all right. And everybody else didn't really do too much of nothing. On the other side of the ball, the Texas side, C.J. Stroud was 245 with no touchdowns and no interceptions. Joe Mixon was 88 yards for 18 carries. He averaged 4.9, 1 touchdown. C.J. Stroud rushed for 42 yards. Nico Collins came out and did his thing, but he didn't score. I told you he at least needed 2 touchdowns for them to beat him. He had 5 receptions, 81 yards, 16.2. He averaged a catch. Dalton Schultz had 63 yards for 4 catches. Xavier Hutchinson had 52 yards for 4 catches also. So overall, was a good game. I mean, in a sense, you had 2 punts per team, penalties on the Chiefs side, and let's just talk about that. Yes, I know everybody is saying what they're saying. Yes, that was a bad call, that first drive, and I think it was an impactful call because if they didn't get that call, they were going to punt the ball. But you still got to beat them. On the offensive side of the ball with the Texans, they couldn't really do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. And like I told you guys in my past episodes, their offensive line, which did relatively well in a sense because CJ had 245. It shocked me, and Mixon had 88 yards with a touchdown. So they did relatively well. It was a skills player. The Chiefs skills players on defense versus the Texas skills players on offense. The Texans couldn't do nothing. Couldn't do nothing with him. And then Travis Kelce, they didn't have an answer for Kelce. Kelce them. So yeah, they had more penalty yards. It wasn't no turnovers at all. It was the tale of, can you score? Like I said also, just listen to my episodes. As y'all start getting to listen to my episodes and all the ones I put in the past, you're going to hear me say what's the truth. I said the Texans had to score with the Chiefs. If you don't score with the Chiefs, you're not going to win like you won against the Chargers. You got to score with them, and you need at least 2 turnovers from the Chiefs to beat the Chiefs. Although you didn't have turnovers and they didn't have turnovers, you didn't score with them. And all you needed to score was, 4 touchdowns to beat them. Not necessarily saying they wouldn't score with you because, towards the end of the game, they start milking the clock. But it's a good game. Congratulations to the Chiefs. Great game. Great game. Great game, Chiefs. I cannot knock it. Next game. Next game, we had the Lions versus the Commanders. Let's go into this game. I'm gonna take a little minute on this game, but just bear with me. Let's go into this game. Lions versus Commanders. First of all, I want to say shout out to all my home Detroit Lions fans. I am from Detroit, Michigan. So the Commanders beat the Lions 45-31. Player stats: Jaden Daniels had 299, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no turnovers. Brian Robinson had 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels had 51 yards rushing. Austin Eckler had 47 yards rushing. Dime Brown had 98 yards receiving. Terry McLaurin had 87 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Austin Eckler had 41 yards receiving. Zach Ertz had 28 yards receiving. Jamison Crowder had 25 yards receiving. So that's one. John Bates had 20 yards receiving. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers, 20 yards or more. And Zach Ertz had a touchdown. Thank you, Zach Ertz. You helped me out too with my stuff. So, Lions side of the ball. Here we go. Jared Goff, 300. He did 313. In the yards he threw for 1 TD, 3 interceptions. You had David Montgomery. He threw the ball for 20 yards. You had Teddy Bridgewater that came in when Goff got hurt. He threw the ball once for 3 yards. Then you had Jamison Williams, who threw the ball for an interception. So that's 4 interceptions for the team. Gibbs did an excellent job. We're going to get into that. He had 105 yards, 14 carry. He averaged 7.5 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamison Williams had that trick play. He had one carry for 61 yards and a touchdown. Then you had David Montgomery for 7 carries to 28 yards. Then you had on receiving side, Amarant came and did his thing. He had 8 catches for 137 yards, no touchdowns. Gibbs had 70 yards receiving. Laporta had 51 yards receiving. Khalif Raymond had 37 yards receiving. Tim Patrick had 22 yards receiving. Now that's stats. That's stats. Stats don't tell everything. Watching the game, let me dig into it. The number one thing that I told my friends that was over here was, I hope they don't blitz Jaden Daniels like they blitzed Sam Darnold. Number one, he's a mobile quarterback. And the most important reason why I didn't hope they did that, they didn't blitz him, because he can read the blitz. He's a rookie, but he looked like he's been in the league for 5 years. He can read the blitz. So what happened? Started the game, what they do? They blitzing him. Safety blitz, corner blitz, linebacker blitz. He picking it apart. On one of the plays, the Lions called a blitz on the left-hand side of Jaden Daniels with Branch to come in, and it's 3 wide receivers in a trio bunched up with 1 corner over there, and they blitzed. And when they blitz, if the blitz don't get there, you're going to pay. He threw it straight to McLaurin. McLaurin to the house, over 40 plus yards. So we really going to do this all game? All game? You're going to blitz him all game, and he just picking you apart like he Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. All game? All game? Bad play calling on the defensive side of the ball. You should have rushed 4, stood back, and when he run, grab him, let your defense play, man. You here now. You at the divisional round. Don't blow it quick. Don't work 40 hours and then go to the strip club and spend it in 5 minutes, bro. You'd have had a whole season, 15-1, or whatever you was, 15-2. You had the home field advantage, and you gonna blow it all with bad play calling? That's the defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball. After the Lions beat the Texans, it was highly stated in Detroit, Michigan, after they was ballroom hustling in the Texas Stadium and took over Texas and went crazy, buying all the bottles and all of that, played the game. Goff had multiple turnovers. I want to say 2 or 3 interceptions, if not more than that. This is what they stated. And I said this on my last episode. Yeah, we beat the Texans and our quarterback threw 4-5 interceptions and we still beat them. We still beat them. That's something to gloat about? That's something to gloat about? So last week on my episode, I believe it was 21, I said, if Goff throw them interceptions, them same interceptions that he threw in that Texans game, you're going to pay. You want to know why? Because this is the divisional round of the playoffs. This is not the regular season. Texans got put out yesterday. Washington beat the Bucs. Washington is these teams in the divisional rounds, they good teams. You give turnovers, you're going to pay. And every time they gave a turnover, they paid. They scored a turnover off the fumble. They scored a pick six off the first interception. You're going to pay. You're going to lose. You can't do that. Play calling. If Jahmyr Gibbs is averaging seven yards a carry, he got 2 touchdowns. Every time that man got the ball, he was damn near gone. What you passing it so much for? It's the playoffs. What is the recipe for the playoffs? Good defense and a good rushing game. If you know your defense is suffering from so many injuries, run the ball. But you didn't. You want to get cute. All these trick plays. 4 different people throwing the ball. This is the divisional round of the playoffs. You think Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Dan Marino, Brett Favre want wide receivers and running backs throwing the ball in the divisional round of the playoffs? Too cute. Too cute. And that's why you lost. Bad play calling on the defensive side, blitzing all goddamn day, and too cute on offensive side. Stick to the run. That's been y'all strategy, Sonic and Knuckles, the whole entire season. That's first. Yeah, y'all been throwing the ball prolifically. Yes, y'all got the number one offense. But in the divisional round of the playoffs, you must keep things as simple as possible, especially if it's working. This man is taking off every time y'all get this man the ball. What's wrong with y'all? Offensive line is impeccable for the Detroit Lions. Run the ball. Washington had a problem with the rush. You see the dude had 117 yards. Jameson Williams had 61 yards. Montgomery had 28 yards. You damn near had 200 yards. But when you want to keep on doing all this cute stuff, keep on giving it to 3 or 4 people to throw the ball and all, you made your bed and you laid in it. The same thing that make you laugh will make you cry. All that stuff in Texas, laughing, we had multiple interceptions and we still won. It made you cry. So when y'all come in here next season, be truthful. You better be saying, hey, Goff better not come in here throwing them interceptions. You see interceptions from Goff, don't hammer down on them because it's a part of the game. But if you see 2 or 3 or 4, red flag. Red flag. Most importantly, Aaron Glenn look like he's going to be gone. He got a second interview with the Jets. Ben Johnson is gone to the Bears with Caleb Williams. That's going, Caleb Williams and them trick plays and all of that. That play calling, that's going to be potent. Coordinators, man. If it was me, I'll go get Mike McCarthy on offense and I'll go get Gerard Mayo on defense. You heard it here first. I will go get, if Mike McCarthy don't get a head coaching job, I will go get Mike McCarthy on offense and I will go get Gerard Mayo on defense. You need another identity. I learned this last year after our Super Bowl run with Steichen and Gannon. Nick Sirianni tried to take over the play calls last year. He tried to call the same plays, and it did not work. So I know they might try to do next man up, but I do not recommend it. I think y'all need to change some of y'all offensive play calling because y'all been doing the same offense for not the same, but you've been changing stuff, but the base of the offense been the same for the last 3 years. So I will hope that y'all go get somebody that's a seasoned vet in offensive play calling, Mike McCarthy, and a good defensive coordinator, Gerard Mayo. You can't get Gerard Mayo, Antonio Pierce, but Mayo first. That's the biggest key for the Lions. Off season, you need D lineman opposite of Hutch, linebacker, and a safety. Your corners, you got corners. And then I think you need one more piece on the offensive line, but you can get them through the draft. I'm hearing somebody was supposed to retire. Still a great season. I'm letting you guys know once the season's over with, I will be placing a large wager on the Lions to go to the Super Bowl next year, to go to it, and another wager for them to win it. Because this loss right here was different from the San Francisco loss. The San Francisco loss was crushing because you was one game away from the Super Bowl. But this loss right here, it wasn't expected. And it definitely wasn't expected this bad. I'm here. Detroit was so vibrant. I've never seen Detroit this vibrant in the last week. Like, I'm here. They were supposed to win. The Detroit Lions were supposed to win. And they just went in there with bad play calling and they blew it. So this one hurt. I don't think too many players are going to leave, not the key players. Next year, they'll be back in it. I guarantee you they'll be back in it. And they're going to be back in with a vengeance. Now, look at the Detroit Lions teams they got to play next year. They got a tough schedule, but that's good. That's good you're going to play the NFC East. That's good you're going to play other good teams because you're going to get tested in a regular season. Not the Jaguars, the Colts, the Texans, the 49ers that's injured, the Bears twice. Then your only playoff teams is the Buccaneers, the Packers, and the Vikings. You're going to get tested through the whole season. That way, when you get to the playoffs, if they got a good record, I'm telling you, take some money. If you got some money to do it, put it on the Lions for the Super Bowl. Next game. I always do the Eagles last. There was the 3 o'clock game on Sunday. So we're going to go to Bills and Ravens. Bills and Ravens. All right. 1 second. All right. Bills beat the Ravens 27-25. On the Baltimore side of things, we're going to go to the winning side of things first. On the Bills side of it, Josh Allen was 16-22 at 127. Did you ever think that Josh Allen could beat the Baltimore Ravens going 16 for 22, 127 yards, no interception, and no touchdowns? He didn't even throw for 150, and he beat the Ravens. I would have never. If I'd have seen that stat alone, I'd have said the Ravens won, but the Bills won. James Cook rushed for 67 yards. Ty Johnson rushed for 31 yards. Ray Davis rushed for 29 yards. Josh Allen rushed for 20 yards. That's almost 140 yards between 4 different players. And we was talking about the rush on the other side of the ball. Josh Allen had 2 rushing touchdowns. Ray Davis had a rushing touchdown. Cook didn't even score. Or Ty Johnson. Receiving side of it. Wasn't that much to talk about. Shakir had 67 yards. Cook had 15, and everybody else had less than 15 after that. So, I know I just said we had 3 rushing touchdowns, but Josh Allen only had 127 passing yards. How did the Bills beat the Ravens? Let's get into it. On the Ravens side of the ball, Lamar was 18 for 25, 254 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. That's 1 turnover. Derrick Henry was 16 carries. 16 carries for 84 yards. I'm going to dig into that too. He had a touchdown. He was averaging 5.2 yards a carry. Justice Hill had 50 yards rushing. Lamar Jackson had 39 yards rushing. Receiving, Isaiah Likely had 73 yards, 1 TD. Rashad Bateman had 66 yards, 1 TD. Mark Andrews had 61 yards. Ty Wallace had 27 yards. We're just going to go through all the stats real quick. Punts. Bills punted the ball 3 times. Ravens didn't punt the ball at all. Penalties. Ravens had 5 for 43. Bills had 1 for 10. Fumbles lost. Ravens had 2. Uh-oh. Plus that interception. That's 3 turnovers. Bills had the ball for 31 minutes. Ravens had the ball for 28 minutes. So basically a wash. First downs. Bills only had the ball. Bills only had 20. Ravens had 23. And the rest of the stuff is about neck and neck. Bills were sacked once. Ravens were sacked twice. So, the turnovers, bro. I say it all the time. Good run game, good defense, no turnovers. You're going to win the game. You're going to win the game. They came to the dance and they choked. Lamar Jackson choked. Mark Andrews choked. John Harbaugh choked with play calling. Look at multiple of my episodes. What did I say about the Baltimore Ravens when they was being cute in the regular season, let Lamar Jackson do all this throwing and all this throwing here and throwing here and throwing there? Give the ball to Derrick Henry. He has to have 20 to 25 carries a game for you guys to win. Every time he have it, y'all win. Every time he don't, you lose, or you look like you was about to lose if you won. I said this in my episodes. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. What did you go acquire him for? You went to go acquire him so in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson can throw the ball. Let me go back to that. So Lamar Jackson can throw the ball 25 times? But y'all on my quarterback rear end about him not throwing the ball. We're going to get into that. Let me go into some other stuff about this game. Lamar Jackson, and I hate the fact this was already in my tablet yesterday. I hate the fact that getting up this morning on Unsportsmanlike, Chris Canty took the words right out of my mouth. But I put this in my tablet yesterday as I was watching the Ohio State game. And what I put in my tablet was Lamar Jackson is nothing but the late, great, new Peyton Manning in the playoffs. He chokes. Beginning of the career of Peyton Manning's career in the playoffs, he was choking. Peyton Manning was a 4-time MVP. Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP. Peyton Manning in the playoffs was 14-13. He lost to Brady twice in the playoffs. It's early. Brady twice in the playoffs, and eventually he beat him 3 times towards the back end of his playoff run. Lamar Jackson is 3 for 5 in the playoffs. Lost to Buffalo twice and Patrick Mahomes once. Lamar Jackson, MVPs, all them stats, he is the new Peyton Manning. And I know he said what he said in the conference. He put it on himself, and he put it on other players. But, dude, that first interception, skip the fumbles, the first interception. Skip the drop passes, the first interception, man. You give momentum, they take off with it. Josh Allen look crazy right now, man. I'm going to talk about that. So, John Harbaugh, give the ball to Derrick Henry. You acquired him for a reason. I know you love Lamar. I know that's like whatever to you. But, dude, keep it simple, man. We in the playoffs. Don't get cute unless you got to. 3 o'clock game Sunday. Ravens versus the Eagles. Let's go to the stats first. Let's go to the stats. All right. Eagles beat the Rams. I'm sorry. Eagles and Rams. Eagles beat the Rams 28-22. Stats on the Eagles side of the ball. Jalen Hurts was 128, just like Josh Allen. I don't see nobody ringing Josh Allen's head. Jalen had 128. Josh had 127. Jalen had no TDs. Josh had no TDs. Jalen had no interceptions. Josh had no interceptions. But they both in the next round. Saquon Barkley. Come on, man. Hold on, dog. Hold on. Gunshots. Give him some gunshots. Give him some more gunshots, man. Applaud for him. 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 Applaud for him again. Applaud for him again. 205 yards, 26 carries, 7.9 yards a carry, and 2 TDs. So I talked about Jahmyr Gibbs. I talked about Derrick Henry. And I talked about running the ball. That's the recipe to winning. They gave that man the ball 26 times. And he had 205 yards with those 26 carries, average 7.9 yards a carry, and 2 touchdowns. What are y'all doing? Let's get into it even deeper with this running. Jalen Hurts, even with the knee injury, 7 carries, 70 yards, a touchdown. They had Kenneth Gainwell, 1 carry for 10 yards. They had 285 yards rushing. 285 yards rushing. There was one fumble, but we recovered it, so no turnovers. Receiving, wasn't that much to talk about. Dallas Goedert got 56, no touchdowns. Saquon Barkley got 27. Devontae Smith had 21. And if you watch the game, they tried to implement the pass in the beginning while the snow went on the ground. You had AJ dropped a couple passes. He even dropped one while it was snowing that they could have scored a touchdown on. It was just one of those games where they did what they were supposed to on the offensive side. They didn't look all 300 yards, 3 TDs. All that. I will let you guys know in the secret. When Jalen Hurts has 135 yards passing, he won every game. When Jalen Hurts has 300 yards passing, he loses. I'm just letting y'all know that. Right now, he's 4 for 3 in the playoffs. But before this game, he was 3 for 3. All 3 games he lost, 250 plus passing. All three games he won, under 200. Let's go to the Rams side of the ball. Matthew Stafford, 44 times he threw the ball. 324 yards, throwing 2 TDs, no interceptions. Kyrie Williams, 106 yards rushing, 5.6, no TDs. Puka Nacua, 97 yards receiving. DeMarcus Roberts, 74 yards receiving. Cooper Kupp, 61 yards receiving. Tyler Higbee, 54 yards receiving with a touchdown. Kobe Parkinson had a touchdown. Let's go to the tail of the team stats. Team stats. Here we go. Punts. Eagles punted the ball 4 times. Rams punted the ball 5 times. Defense. Penalties. Eagles only got 3 penalties, 14 yards. Rams had 3 for 30 yards. Okay, not that much. Fumbles lost. Eagles didn't lose no fumbles. Rams lost 2 fumbles. Turnovers. Interceptions thrown. Nobody threw interceptions. Time of possession, 30 minutes to 29 minutes. Neck and neck. The tail of this tape was turnovers. When Matthew Stafford got the ball ripped up out of his hand, that basically put the game out of reach. And even though they came back, that snow, they couldn't block Jalen Carter. That defense was good. You had a couple drives where they stuffed Kyrie Williams when it was like 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. They stuffed him. C.J. Gardner-Johnson came down there in the hole, stuffed him. Jalen Carter was coming through there. Did y'all see that one play where Jalen Carter told Nolan Smith to crash down? He tapped his helmet. He said, crash down. He crashed. He wrapped around, slipped a little bit, put his arm back up, sacked Matthew Stafford. That was early in the game. Then late in the game, they tried to double team him, but they ain't do the block at the side on the right. Shot straight through. Sacked Matthew Stafford. Hit Matthew Stafford and knocked the ball out of his hand. Had another one early in the game where he had Matthew Stafford up like this. Defense. Run game. No turnovers. It ain't supposed to look 500, 600,000 yard throwing yards in the playoffs. Defense. Eagles defense. You did an excellent job. Excellent job. Excellent job. Matter of fact, we on that defense, man, we let them gunshots off. Let them gunshots off, man. We ain't playing no games, dog. Oh, not on defense, we not. Next round. Let's get it. Let's get it. I want to see them. Jalen Hurts ain't injured now. And if you've seen this last game, what was he doing when he ran? He was sliding. Y'all ain't about to do that again. Slid every time. Slid. Nope. And they hit him one time and they ain't called no penalty, but we ain't going to get into that. But that's the recap. So now you got Washington and the Eagles, Bills, and Chiefs. I'll get into that tomorrow. Next topic, we're going to go to the new era of the quarterbacking now is mobile quarterbacks, and it's about to be over with, man. Mobile quarterbacks are here now. It was something in the 90s and in the 2000s where teams and owners despised it, but once they start getting used to it, your Michael Vicks, after your Michael Vicks, your Lamar Jackson, and everybody in between, before and after that. Well, Michael Vick first. Everybody after Michael Vick and before Lamar Jackson and after Lamar Jackson, it's it. So looking at this year alone, if you look at this year alone, mobile quarterback, we're going to do rushing yards. Lamar Jackson had 915 yards. Jaden Daniels had 891 yards. Jalen Hurts had 630 yards. Kyler Murray had 572 yards. Josh Allen had 531 yards. Anthony Richardson had 499 yards. Caleb Williams had 489 yards. Bo Nix had 430 yards. Drake May had 421 yards. Baker Mayfield had 378 yards. Patrick Mahomes had 307. Brock Purdy had 323. Justin Herbert had 306. Justin Fields had 289. Some of these people got taken out halfway through the season. Some of these people ain't started running to the back end of the season. So watch next year. Let's go to touchdowns. Touchdowns. Lamar Jackson had 4. Jaden Daniels had 6. Jalen Hurts had 14. Kyler Murray had 5. Josh Allen had 12. Anthony Richardson had 6. Bo Nix had 4. Drake May had 2. Baker Mayfield had 3. Brock Purdy had 5. Patrick Mahomes had 2. Justin Herbert had 2. Justin Fields had 5. Geno Smith had 2. Daniel Jones had 2. Bryce Young had 6. Sam Darnold had 1. Joe Burrow had 2. Russell Wilson had 2. Deshaun Watson had 1. Malik Willis had 1. The era of the statue quarterback is over. Unless you are a quarterback like Matthew Stafford or the late, great Tom Brady, that your arm and your brain is so impeccable that you don't need to run and you can get that ball out without turning it over, the era of the statue quarterback is over. It's over. When you're drafting quarterbacks right now, Shador, Cam, Ward, they take off. They take off. So, hey, it is what it is. And I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. I like when the quarterbacks take off. I like that. I like that. I like it a lot. So it is what it is. That's my second topic. Let's go to the third and last topic. And I ain't going to get to this deep because I don't like covering this a lot. Let me take another drink to the Eagles. Some of y'all was saying the NFC East was weak. The NFC North was the best division. All of them got put out. Who in the NFC Championship? The NFC East. Some of y'all is raving over Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and I told y'all, they don't get that ball to Derrick Henry, they're going to get put out. And they did. I also told y'all in some of my videos, if you seen when Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes, he had a look in his eye. He been having that look in his eye ever since that game. He been running more ever since that game. But I'm going to get into that tomorrow. Donald Trump is my third topic. Back in office. Hey, I ain't about to have no feelings to this. I ain't finna say too much nothing to this. I ain't about to bash. I'm just about to state some things that I would like to see happen better for the economy. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. Because no matter what you say or feel or how you feel, Donald Trump is back in office. Okay. So the inflation rate right now is 2.9%. I really hope that Donald Trump can get this effing inflation rate down under 1%, man, if he can. At least get it to 1%. Because it's a ripple effect to everything. Home loans, car loans, loans period. You name it. Like, it's a ripple effect to everything. It's killing everything. Food is drastically high. Going into food, food has risen over 25% in prices since 2019, since COVID. So 4% increase this year. Well, 2024. The economy is not doing bad, but it's not doing as good as it was. I'm going to tell you, one of the best years I could ever tell you that we ever had was COVID. And after COVID, everybody had money. Everybody had money, and the economy was thriving. Unemployment rate was at an all-time low. Tariffs was put on these other countries that's coming in here, getting over on us and all of that, but don't want us to get up to have an impact on them. He wanted people to buy American. I just really want Trump just to attack the issues that's killing the middle class, not the higher middle class, because last year was a bad year, but I had an excellent job, career. I'm gonna say career, and it kind of kept me on the higher of the middle class, and that's thanks to the Lord, first of all, for putting me in that position, because I'm not gloating about that at all. It's just the fact that I was blessed on this side, because in the George Bush recession days, I was blessed on the other side. I wouldn't say blessed. I was put on the other side of it, the bad side of the spectrum, filing for unemployment. He had kept doing all them extensions and all of that. But anyways, I just hope that Donald Trump will get everything back together. Stock market is doing good. That's doing good. But if he can get the inflation rate down, he can get food prices down. I'm even hearing he's saying something. I don't know how true this is. I got to look it up. That if you are paying child support, male or female, the opposite sex that's receiving it cannot file taxes on that child. Sounds like a fair deal to me. If you getting paid all year and that payment is coming in, Why do you need to receive the taxes? Fair is fair. If somebody's paying you $300, $200, $500 every month, it's coming in on time, every pay period. Why they can't file the taxes? Why they can't file the taxes? Come on now. That's called greed. Greed. But it's another story for another day. I might dig into that a little longer. I might actually get people on and go live and we'll talk about that. But overall, congratulations to Donald Trump. He's in there. I just hope he be able to do it somewhat as far as the economy like it was when he was in there last time, and get these food prices down and inflation down and keep the unemployment rate down and get the economy back thriving. That's it. I'm not gonna get into what he did, how he did, when he did, what he did, and what the Democrats didn't do. I'm not doing all of that because I don't want to be arguing with people about certain stuff here close to home. But what I can say is we cannot do nothing about the fact that he is our president. He is the president. So congratulations to Donald Trump and the Trump team and the Republicans. I just want you guys to do what I ask. And like I always say at the end of my videos, I'm Philly Will all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. I can't wait till this Sunday. I also want everybody to pray for me if you're watching this video. I got something real important on Thursday, and I need all the prayers I can get. This will be the start of this situation to get it put in the past. But so pray for me if you can. That's it, and I'm out.